2K may have just revealed the final teaser for WWE 2K26. Let's dive in and talk about it. This is the full image that we saw from yesterday's video. They've just unveiled two new sections, or one new section, in fact two new sections I think since we last checked it. So let's have a talk about what is new in this image. So already what may stand out to you already is that the top right and the top left are now open. So let's have a look and see. So we can now analyze the full, basically the full image here. So there is still the videotapes, there's still the thumbtacks, which are very cool. I mean, a lot of people are really excited for them. There's of course the fuel canister that was hinted at. Maybe there is, we were thinking it's maybe some kind of inferno match or some kind of fire, right, with the fire extinguisher, the gas can. The ladder's a bit odd, but that could maybe refer to literally anything. It could be like the showcase mode, it could be the fact that they're bringing back weapon physics, it could be a whole bunch of things. But either way, we have mini ladder and fire, which is a good combination, I suppose. But the most obvious thing in the middle here is, of course, this Balrog looking motherfucker. There is the 3 stages of hell poster. This is officially confirming to me that 2K26 is bringing back this 3 stages of hell match. Of course, we just had Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes in Germany for the WWE Championship in a 3 stages of hell. It's not a very common match type. There's only been a couple in history, but anyone who played the old WWE games, of course, appreciates the fact that 3 stages of hell used to be a lot of fun with on your own or with friends. So 3 stages of hell being back in the game, super cool. I think this pretty much confirms it. And yeah, very cool that it made it in. If we look above the poster though, there is of course the gigantic LED sign here that says the show never stops. Now this is more interesting because why is this on the image? This is on like all of the box arts, all 3 box arts say the show never stops, and that's the tagline for this game, the show never stops. Now when they put these things, these teasers out to the wild, they are to tease things that are in the game, or some form of kind of hype to a feature or some kind of it ties into something. It's either showcase mode, universe mode, or just some gameplay improvement that's new for this year. The show never stops being here is really interesting to me because that must mean that it ties into something very specific. Now, my immediate pessimistic thought is that the show never stops just relates to the fact that universe mode is maybe getting some changes, or the way that the calendar rolls in universe mode, or yeah, maybe something to that effect. But what if it actually refers to story designer? Some kind of mode where you can keep the story going beyond what you've already done. Whether that's maybe like they've incorporated more story mode stuff into universe mode, or maybe there is a new maybe there's a new Attitude Era mode where you can play through the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, and maybe at the end of that it goes, yeah, you can now just play a universe mode with these Attitude Era characters. I don't know, I'm not a game designer, but it's just one of those things of like, I wonder if there's going to be more to this. In the last video as well, I pointed out the obey none and conquer all. Well, if we scroll over to the middle here, there is actually more writing. History remembers the Defiance. Now, I'm looking at this going, what on earth does any of this mean? Or maybe this is something to do with, you know, Attitude Era, because Attitude Era was very kind of anti-establishment. It was about defying kind of the norm, the societal norm. But an interesting thing that I think I heard from Matt at Assemble was these could maybe relate to the island. And then it got me thinking. I was like, oh, maybe this does relate to the island of some kind. Now, there was a rumor a long time ago. I say a long time ago, it was about a few weeks ago. There was a rumor that the island storyline was going to continue in 2K26, but it was going to be like an evolution of the island. So the island still exists. However, the tribal chief, also Roman, has been dethroned as the head of the table. He's no longer the head of the island anymore. And now the inmates run the asylum, essentially. And then I was looking back with that in mind, thinking of the story of the island. I was going back to this going, obey none, conquer all. Interesting, because the whole thing about acknowledge me and the tribal chief is about like acknowledging, obeying, and conquer all is maybe some kind of like Brock Lesnar, or maybe some kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to think out loud here, but like, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with the tribal chief being overthrown in the island. And then history remembers the Defiance. Now, it's very easy to say that this is just DX, right? D-Generation X were super defiant and they constantly getting fined and they were getting themselves in trouble every single week on TV. But let me just pose this out to you. What if actually the Defiance that it's referencing here is actually your character from the island in the last game? Because your character defied the tribal chief. You dethroned the tribal chief. So you are the Defiance on the island. And what if history remembers the Defiant? Because your character is now in the history books as dethroning Roman Reigns. Maybe for better, maybe for worse. Maybe there's people on the island that like the fact that you dethroned Roman, and maybe there's people that don't like it. So maybe there's a whole faction warfare about who should be the leader of the island. I have no idea. I'm just completely spitballing here, but yeah, I think it could potentially be something to do with the island. Moving on, we have the full image here of this vanity mirror with the lights around it, which has to be Blake Monroe. I can't think of anyone else who would have this kind of mirror with the lights around it. But we're looking in the mirror. We need to look directly in the mirror because there is very obviously a silhouette of someone in there. I originally thought that might have been the Undertaker. Apologies, I've recentered the image now, but I originally thought that this was the Undertaker looking at the bottom half of the character, because he has like the kind of boots with the straps and just the tights. Like, there's definitely like a body conforming spandex of some kind. But now that we see the full image here, I'm like, maybe it's not the Undertaker. You know, there is a glove there and there are the boots and there's clearly some tights going on here, but there's also a bare hand on the right there. It looks like a bare hand on the right. So with the long hair, the one glove, and the 3 lines on the boots, this would have to be Kane. This has to be Kane. I can't think of anyone else that this could potentially relate to. I don't know what kind of Kane it is. Maybe if it's got the bit, the dangly bit here, that could potentially be like kind of mass Kane from 99. Bit weird that it's here, but hey, whatever. Maybe this is actually Kane's locker room, you know? He's got red lights here, he's got a red chair, he's got candles and fire extinguisher, freezes the hell. Maybe Kane is like a big part of this. I have no idea. And also looking beyond Kane, again, beyond the exit sign, there is obviously a wrestling ring and a backstage area. Now, it's not a backstage area that we have ever really seen before. It's not really one that comes to mind. It's just a generic kind of backstage area, maybe like a gym, because it looks like you've got kind of a weightlifting bench there and a punching bag. Maybe this relates to the fact that we're getting new backstage areas. Obviously, last year they did add in the WWE Archives as a backstage area where you can fight around, and also the NXT car park where you can do a whole bunch of like really cool like parking lot fighting and stuff. Maybe the gym is going to be one of them, or if we're going really out there, and this is the whole point of these videos, right? Is to go really out there. What if it's actually indicating free roam for My Rise? Now, I know, that's probably quite extreme. But if this does refer to some kind of free roam, like more backstage areas, and we get to like free roam and do cool stuff, or maybe it's like Wrestling Empire, maybe our character, we can only increase the stats of our character by going to the gym and working out, then maybe people would like that. I don't know. If we scoot ourselves over to the left here of the image, we can still see those beer cans. I've seen a lot of people online potentially talking about how they could potentially be APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency. I would love if the APA made it into the game, because quite often in the WWE 2K games, Farouk is in the game as his APA version, but Bradshaw isn't, and it's always annoyed me that we never get the APA in the game, because Farouk is always the APA version or the Nation version, and Bradshaw is always JBL, and it's just frustrating. So whatever. There's my soapbox for today. Looking up then, we have 2 posters. We have Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I don't know what the deal is with this. Austin makes sense, right? We're doing Attitude Era, totally fine. Shawn Michaels is from like 2005. This is not Attitude Era Shawn. I literally don't even have words. I can't even theorize why this is there. So cool that it's there. I have no idea why it's there. And then to the top of the image, we have the the men's Intercontinental Championship and the women's Intercontinental Championship there. In real life, by the way, the women's IC title is way smaller than the men's, I'm pretty sure. So funny that they're the same size here. Now, first impression, probably really weird to have belts on the wall, right? But let me pose you this. One of the things that we've been asking for years is potentially having the belt at ringside during matches. In the old WWE games, you were able to go out of the ring over to the announce table and grab the title that you were fighting for, defending, or whatever it may be. And you could use it as a weapon. You could use it to strike your opponent, or you can use it to distract the referee, or whatever it may be. But the whole point is it was actually a gameplay feature. The belt was at ringside and you could use it, you could grab it, and you could do things with it. Now, for the last couple of years, that's not been a thing. You haven't been able to do that for quite a while. So maybe, just maybe, these belts being on the wall indicate that now the belts are being added back to ringside and we'll be able to use them as weapons in our matches, or potentially in universe mode, you will actually get new cutscenes that use the belts at ringside while they're there as well. And I mean, for now, that's pretty much it. Of course, behind the camera here, you can't see, but there's a sledgehammer and the barbed wire bat. I mean, this is a pretty good sequence of events here. You know, we started off with most of the game modes on the bottom, and we've worked our way up with little hints here and there. Of course, the posters and the belts are an interesting choice. I don't know what the deal is with that necessarily. The belts, I can maybe argue, like I said, that they are at ringside, but the posters I don't understand. I don't know why they're there. Just to fill space, I guess. There is still some glass around the corners here. There's like one on the left, the right, and the bottom here. But I doubt they're going to be hiding any cool stuff in there. So I'm assuming that this would be the final tease. I thought maybe there'd be 2 more, because they've kind of been doing 2 a day for the last couple days. I thought maybe there'd be 2 more tomorrow, but maybe not. Maybe tomorrow, fingers crossed, we actually, you can't see my fingers, fingers crossed that we actually get some maybe gameplay or at least a screenshot. The only thing I can think of at this point to tease the game beyond just this is tomorrow is Thursday, so I'm going to date the video, of course, but tomorrow is Thursday. The cover reveal is not until the Royal Rumble countdown on Friday, and the press embargo isn't until Friday as well. So I don't know what they're going to unveil tomorrow, and I can't think of anything other than potentially just the first screenshot for the game. If they just unveil the first screenshot for the game, I think that would actually be good. I think it would keep people talking, for better or worse. I think we need to temper expectations a little bit. I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, this is a game that's, potentially coming out next gen only. It's potentially going to be coming out on PS5, PC, and Switch, and Xbox Series X. This is the first game to kind of ditch the kind of older generation with PS4 and Xbox One. But I still think you need to temper expectations a little bit. I don't think it's going to be some groundbreaking graphical improvement. I could be completely wrong, don't get me wrong. Art is funny and it always progresses a lot quicker than you think. But I just have a feeling like it's not going to look that much different from the previous game. A lot of the character models are going to be the same from the previous years. They've probably tweaked the lighting engine a little bit to take advantage of some of the extra power in the new consoles. Maybe I'm just being a pessimist and I'm trying to temper expectations. I want 2K to blow me away with this, and so far I'm really enjoying what these teases are maybe hinting at. And I'm personally bought into 2K26. I'm really loving the focus on more match types, the potential that we're getting new weapon physics, the Attitude Era with all kind of ideas, and like, are we going to get a universe mode for Attitude Era? Are we going to get a story mode for Attitude Era? Are we potentially going to get a story designer? How is universe mode going to be improved? What is the showcase this year? Is it CM Punk? What matches are in the CM Punk showcase? Are we going to be playing as CM Punk the whole time, or are we going to be playing as other people in the showcase mode? Like, is CM Punk going to narrate the showcase, or is it going to be like maybe the older style where you just play for the matches and you see the story play out week on week? Like, there's so many, even though these teases have been coming out and there's been leaks from Mike Straw and stuff like that, there's still like a lot to talk about and there's a lot going on. So I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow, but I will definitely be back on Friday for more WWE 2K26 news. If you do like this video and you want to keep up with the 2K26 news, then you gotta hit the like button, you gotta subscribe as well, because I hear that there's a lot more to come on Friday. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. I hope you're excited for WWE 2K25. But hey, sound off in the comments down below what you're most excited for 2K25, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.